This is Work with Purpose by Vegan Journal. In this series, we highlight vegan businesses creating meaningful work with compassion and purpose. I'm Hannah Kaminsky, and today we're in Austin, Texas at TheBeHive. So what inspired you to start TheBeHive?
It kind of just happened by accident. Like when we were in a band, the whole thing started with Born Empty, Born Empty, living in a house called TheBeHive. And we were just vegan, feeding people on the road, and then throwing potlucks at our house back in like 2008. So when we moved out, I had done this AIDS ride, and I was like, I want to still do something. So this vegetarian restaurant I was working at called Wild Cow in Nashville, they were closed on Tuesdays, and it kind of just annoyed me, like the entrepreneur in me. And I was just like, hey, what if I threw a event here on Tuesdays with like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and I give you a percent and a nonprofit percent, and just do the rest. And that's kind of like was the inspiration behind it, just like wanting to make food and do something cool. It's kind of like how it started, and I just kept on from there. I just kept throwing stuff at the wall to see what worked, and it just kept on going and changing forms.
It's very cool. And so you started in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
What brought you out here to Austin?
I was talking to Fred and Kirsten from Rebel Cheese, just trying to pick up some tips on like e-commerce. And at the end of the conversation, she was super helpful. But at the end of the conversation, I was like, "So how's the deli? We haven't talked about the deli at all." And she was like, "Well, we're actually thinking about like getting rid of it." And I was like, "Huh?" And then we kind of talked about it. I was like, "Can you just send me that information?" And she sent it to me, and like, literally 3 months later, we had already taken over. The whole deal kind of took like 2.5 months, which was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I had no plans to kind of move to Austin or do this. I wanted to do a second location, but I was waiting for the time to be right, and it was just like kind of a offer or something I couldn't refuse.
Yeah, and incredible timing because I remember hearing the announcement, first of all, being crushed about losing Rebel Cheese,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then hearing that you were coming in, and then literally a week later you opened.
Yep.
I was flabbergasted.
Mm-hmm. Like 2 days before, we were kind of like, all right, we know we're going to open. We got our health permit. Let's do it. Free crunch wraps, open. Let's go.
Incredible you pulled that off, and
Yeah.
also like amazing crunch wrap.
But like it's our 6th year that we've been doing like a free crunch wrap day on New Year's Day. It started at the end of 2020, like going into 2021. And now it's just like, I don't know, wouldn't it be sick if we just did something really cool to start the year off since like 2020 sucked? It was just a thing. So the way to give back and start the year off. And yeah, so we gave away between Nashville and Austin like 500 crunch wraps
That was so
that
cool.
day. Yeah.
I
It's
know that
insane.
you easily won a bunch of new fans here.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
I've seen it. I got all these great comments.
Hell yeah. And it's just like being able to kind of like, especially, I really wanted to push for the first because opening up in a new market, in a new neighborhood, if we could do something like that, it'd make a splash that everyone would be like, oh, this is rad.
Yeah, a clear delineation, like marking the time. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
a new start.
Exactly. So, and here's a free contract.
So you mentioned e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
How does that factor into your business?
It's a very small percentage. That's why I was trying to talk to Rebel about like how they do it. Yeah, they've mastered something and gotten really good at that. Ours is not as big. It's probably like 5% of our like production business. Something we want to grow, but yeah, I mean we're really focused on the delis and food service, trying to get restaurants really easy vegan meats to use for their menus. That's kind of like what our focus has been.
And so what is it that you're offering? What line of products?
Mainly vegan meats, seitan based. So our most popular products are pizza stuff. So our pepperoni and Italian crumbles and shredded cheese. We have like a pizza cheese, and then after that um, we've got like turkey and roast beef and some pastrami, and we have some taco meat and chorizo and breakfast sausage and bacon. But I'd say our beyond pizza, like our most popular products right now are like the bacon and turkey.
Mm.
And I'm trying to really push that because I feel like there's a big hole in the market for really good sliced meats in the vegan game.
Yeah, it's a little bit elevated, a little bit more artisan.
Yeah,
Handmade element makes it special.
exactly.
How do your values shape the way that you run your business?
it's it's pretty ingrained in there. If I don't take care of the people within the business, then I can't expect them to like take care of me, right? It's a balance, right? You know, you can't, in my opinion, I can't just like take advantage of the employees and expect to like have them just, you know, work for me and get no balance out of that. And same from the employees, right? It's one of those things where it's a relationship between us that we both have to find the balance and get something out of it, right? And through that, I've been able to try to build a like a business with a good culture that's inclusive, that can really run on its own, because I can't do everything, right, and I need the team to kind of um, build on its own and kind of make some stuff happen. So I've been trying to just create a social enterprise that does good while generating income and diverting dollars away from animal agriculture, while also supporting the people that are doing it, so it can grow and be sustainable on its own.
Yeah, it's a tough balance, but also it all goes together.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to work, you know. And if it doesn't work, then it'll just fall apart.
Yeah, then it's not going to work.
Yeah, which is always, I'm always close to disaster. So whatever,
Yeah.
you know,
You
finding
gotta
peace.
roll with the punches.
Yeah, finding peace within the chaos is kind of like the goal for me. Yeah.
So, what have been the biggest challenges that you've had in your business?
Money, the I'd say money and people, right? So money, one, the production is like really expensive, just to kind of run that facility and hit scale. That's kind of been thing. People's a interesting one, because you have to. I've found that I have to kind of treat everyone specifically to them, right? You know, if
Mhm.
I can't have a approach, one size fits all approach to the employees, when like certain people care about money, certain people care about time off or consistency, or like working shorter days but more days. Like you kind of have to navigate different people, and that's kind of like a challenge. And then, you know, there's ups and downs of the plant-based industry over the last 5 to 10 or 15 years. There's been an interesting one, because there's a lot of pushback against veganism and the stigma of like what that means and what it is. I'd say
Mhm.
those are kind of like the top three challenges.
That's a really nuanced approach and response, and I love the idea of treat your employees like individuals, like they are.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Hmm.
that gets lost in a lot of businesses, especially
Yeah.
as you scale up.
Well, it's hard, because no matter what, when you do scale up, you have more people and you have to start implementing corporate practices, because you have to have a system for everyone, and kind of, you know, to contrast what I said, treat everyone the same, but at least offer the same services and protocols to everyone. So it's like, when this happens, we do this, or you get this amount of PTO, or you get this when you hit this, and that way it's fair to everyone.
Yeah, setting expectations and
Yeah,
having like a baseline set of rules.
yeah. If you give someone like preferred privilege or something special, and you don't give it to other people, then that's kind of, it's unfair. So it's really important for us to have like a fair environment where everyone gets the same opportunities, and as the rest of the crew.
Mhm. What do you wish your customers understood?
It's just food. It's just fucking good food.
Don't take it so seriously.
Yeah, it's just food. Eat the sandwich. It's good. It's,
Okay.
you know, like, you don't have to be vegan to enjoy our food, and I think our customers do. You know, 60 to 70% of our customers in Nashville are not vegan, and yeah, I think that's in a big picture. Besides diverting dollars away from industrialized animal agriculture, I feel like we're trying to um, destigmatize the word vegan. You know,
Hmm.
you don't have to be vegan to enjoy vegan food. Hummus and pita is vegan. Peanut butter and jelly is vegan. You know,
Right.
there's so many things. French fries, like, there's so many things that are awesome that people love on a daily level.
But
that
then you label it, and it's like,
yeah,
oh no,
if
no
I
thanks.
put a sandwich in front of you and say, "Hey, eat this," people are like, "All right, that looks awesome." But if you put it in front of them, say, "Hey, try this vegan sandwich," people might be like, "Fuck that,"
Mm.
And I think it's fair. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what we're trying to disprove and or prove that
Destigmatize the whole
yeah,
vegan approach, and
yeah,
like it is just good food.
it's just food. Mm-hmm. So
How can people best support you?
buy our shit.
Bottom line.
How can people best support us? Yeah, I mean, I would say just like telling people about the deli and the foods and going to our restaurants. One, our delis, but also our partners, different places across the country that serve like our pepperoni or different meats, and trying that and telling people about it. That's kind of
Mhm.
like getting the word out and supporting. I really feel like voting with your dollar is the way to make a difference in our country. So, and just in general, right? Like, just you believe in something, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah,
Support it monetarily. That's what makes a difference. That's what gets corporations to change when they're losing money.
yeah. Show that there's demand and
Hmm.
keep that ball rolling.
Exactly.
What advice would you give to someone looking for a career in plant-based food?
Start small, try shit, throw shit at the wall. I didn't get into this thing thinking that I wanted to do what I'm doing right now. I just wanted to do something cool and like listen to the market. It's just a really hard game, but it would be like make something really good and add value to people and start small and just try shit. Just try shit, throw shit at the wall. If you were trying to do something like I've done, if you were trying to get a career in plant based, it's going to be hard. But like where's the value and how do you provide value to people? Is kind of what I would say. There's always the small guys and kind of doing stuff and
But what I'm hearing is start small,
yeah,
do what you love, but also have a plan.
yeah. I mean, plans are important. I've never had a plan, so I can't really go against that.
Know what you offer more than anything else.
Offer something of value, right? Where like what how can you how yeah what value are you offering people, and is that value worth an exchange of money, and so and be open to flux, right? So it's like I said, I started throwing parties and pop-ups, and I didn't think I was going to get into seitan, but what I learned from those events was that people liked the product. Someone said this stuff is so good I would buy it. It kind of gave me the idea to like make stuff and do that. But I only started that after the events kind of ended, in a super small scale. In a friend, I only started at like super small scale, like in a kitchen, in a friend's kitchen, and then a commissary. Just kind of grew it, and then started getting events again. And then those events did well, but that was a pain in the ass. So we started doing a deli one day a week because we had all these other products. We just started throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what worked and seeing what people liked. And even when we started the deli, it was one day a week, and then it did well. So we did 2 days a week, and then over COVID, it went 3 days a week to like 7 days a week. And that was just because what works. So having the humility to kind of be like, this works and this doesn't work, you got to drop what doesn't work. So the plan is important, but if you, in my experience, well, I didn't have a plan, but execute the plan. But if it changes, or if you find that something isn't working, having the humility to change it and divert is really important, because sometimes if you just follow the plan and it doesn't work and you just dig it into the ground and you're getting all this feedback that's like, this is not working, you know, the famous quote is like, stupidity is trying something over and over and over again, trying to get a different result. So being able
Or
to,
insanity, as I've heard
yeah,
it.
insanity and stupidity.
Fine
Yeah.
line.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I'd say. You just got to try shit and hustle.
Hmm.
You know?
I think that's good advice.
Thanks.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add to that?
My big goal is to try to like build a vegan Starbucks, where everything can be made at our production facility, and then we hit these delis up. So this is kind of like my proof of concept down here to see if I can make it work.
That's very cool. I'm excited to see that.
We'll see. I'm scared.
The future is bright. You can do it.
We'll see. The future is the future. Who knows what it is?
True.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much.
for sure.